right. So yeah, so you talked about just being a part of the Blue Devil, the Blue Devil brand. I mean, obviously that's world renowned, and just you alluded to just your I guess your early years of being a Brave and dealing with 16 sports. How do you feel like that helped put you in a position where you were like, okay, well, we're ready. It's time to make this move, and I'm confident that I can get Duke women's basketball to that next phase of notoriety and promotion and marketing, and then obviously in addition to Duke women's tennis.
Yeah, you and I have talked about, like, how do you know you're ready for the next step, and you know, that factor of just knowing you're ready for the next push, the next challenge, and part of that is just also people telling you that you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like, had a lot of people here in Pembroke, or even our student athletes, right? Like, our student athletes would come to me and be like, why are you here?
Yeah.
And because I love it here, right? Like, I
Right.
love Pembroke. I love the people here. I love what we do. Um, and I love what we were able to accomplish, and put Pembroke on the map from a marketing, external operations standpoint, right? Like, we did a lot of really cool things that had other people in Division 2 and low Division 1s turning their heads.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like, that became a thing. I go to a conference um, every other year, if not every year, if I can. That's called NACMA. It's part of the greater NACDA organization. And I had a couple mentors of mine in the industry. They came up and they're like, "You're just always going to be a D2 guy, aren't you?" And that just, like,
Mm.
that stung. That
Yeah.
that stung hard. And I was like, you know what? Like, no, I'm not. I'm not meant for more in the fact that, like, Pembroke can't be more, or isn't
Right.
more, but meant for more in the fact that, like, I do not want to be classified as one thing, one spot. Like, prove
Right.
that what I can do works, and that my creativity and mindset and all of that fits in at a bigger role in a bigger university.
Yeah.
And so, given the opportunity, I had spoken with Duke before, 3 or 4 years ago, actually.
Mm.
And so, getting the opportunity to actually, get that chance again, and this time it be the right fit, was just,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Well, that says a lot about you, man. To have a institution and a brand like Duke reach out to you, and it says a lot about who you are as a person and your character to know that it wasn't the right time, right? So, too often you get a lot of young professionals that think I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go, but it takes a mature person and it takes a mature professional to know when they're ready, and to know that when they get there, they're going to have all their T's crossed and all their I's dotted. And again, I think it says, like I said, it says a lot about you to know that, hey, I'm not quite ready to go and put my mark on it. And obviously, you were there this year. You guys did some phenomenal things with the women's basketball program, winning the ACC tournament title, correct?
Yeah,
You
they
know,
they were great. To be fair, like, I have no part in the product on the court, right? That is, they have a great coaching staff and some phenomenal athletes, but energy level in the building, I definitely feel like was amplified. And obviously, this as a wrestler, right? Like, if you can get a crowd behind you,
oh yeah,
there's a little extra push to be a little bit better when you're performing. So I
yeah,
can say at least I had a small hand in that, but um, the championship and the run they had in the ACC in the NCAA tournament was definitely special. And being 30 seconds from knocking off South Carolina
mm,
was, we were, that one still hurts a little bit.
yeah.
Excited for them to get a little get back on that.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, everything you can do to give yourself that home court advantage, that's an extra, the extra takedown in wrestling, the extra 2 to 4 points in basketball, and
Mm-hmm.
one more steal, and then one extra offensive or defensive rebound. So, the support staff, man, I don't think that you guys get enough credit for what you guys do to elevate the product out there on the court, field, whatever you want to call it. So, like I told you, man, I've always appreciated your time and what you poured into our athletes, UNCP as a whole, and just selfishly speaking, UNCP wrestling. So kudos to you for that. And obviously, we wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't leave that much of an impact in our program and our institution. So you're there, and obviously you've gotten a chance to come back periodically. The one that when you first, I don't know if I could talk about this, but you're now a family of three,
Yep.
no longer two.
Yep.
Can you talk about that and how that's changed your life for the good and for the better?
Yeah. I mean, I think you know this well that I was always a guy, still am, work ethic wise and self driver that I was burning the candle at both ends regularly,
Mm-hmm.
and did that a little bit when our son was a newborn. Of Would come home, make sure I was a part of bedtime, bath time routine, and put him to bed, and then I would go back downstairs and work to make sure I was getting caught up and all of that.
Right.
But there's definitely a difference now of going home and just getting to play and cuddle and all of that. I mean, it's just a different mindset of priorities, and learned that a lot my last few years here at Pembroke, that work is not everything,
Uh-huh.
and family and the people you pour into mean more. Um, and I would say honestly, that's been the biggest like gift and biggest difference of it is I am super excited for this upcoming year to actually. He couldn't come to games here. Cameron's just too loud, even
Yeah. Oh
even with
yeah.
fans. So I am excited for this upcoming year to have games for the game to be over and to have him come down the court and crawl across it or run across it or
Yeah.
whatever that looks like. Like I am looking forward to those moments and those memories of him growing up around athletics. I mean, your daughters did the same thing, and
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can say it like kids getting to grow up. I don't think they necessarily always realize like how special and cool it is, the experiences that they get to have that other
Mm-hmm.
kids don't.
Oh yeah.
But I'm excited for him to have some of those experiences, especially in uh, somewhere like Cameron. I
Yeah.
mean, like
Yeah.
that stuff's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
And the
man.
staff there has been amazing. Like they all love him and ask when I'm bringing them in and stuff too. So it's
There
been
you
great.
go. They're gonna have Oakley Day.
Yeah.
Oakley Day, 1 day a week. So I agree. I think that's one of the greatest joys as a parent and one of the greatest gifts as children of people that are involved in athletics to raise your kids around athletes. And again, that's obviously being selfish. I think athletes are some of the most, if not the most, driven people, and getting a chance to have your kids around some of the most driven people that are going to leave athletics, but they're going to dominate their profession is nothing better than that. And again, your kids are around people that are going to push them and people that they can aspire to be like. Obviously, for the most part, for the very, very high most part, they're around good role models in the coaches and the support staff and things like that, and they're around the athletes that are gonna hopefully they can aspire to be like. And so one of the things I think is pretty cool, man, is that you know you guys came back for our regional tournament this year.
Yep.
And obviously I didn't get a chance to, that was my first opportunity to get a chance to meet Oakley, but I didn't. Obviously, I know he was very young at the time,
Yep.
and probably had about an hour or two to, I guess, limit. You guys still, I know you're a Blue Devil now, but you guys still have that passion to come around and be back in an environment and just, you guys are brave through and through, both you and your wife. What was it like meeting someone at your alma mater that you can grow grow a future with and obviously have a family with, and to know that you guys are getting to do this together and you guys still have an affinity for UNCP? How's that been, growing with someone like Coach Padilla?
Yeah. I mean, she's obviously dynamite on her own, right? And that was something big for us was when we're talking about like NIL and
Mm,
athletes brands and stuff like that, right? That my brand and her brand were very separate, and we worked very hard to keep it that way. That everyone knew her as Coach Padilla, a fantastic soccer coach, and what they've been able to accomplish from a program standpoint, individual standpoint, and then for me from a marketing side and external operations side, that was the same thing. But when it comes to family and us growing those memories and us being able to support other coaches and what that Division II mindset is of like that is your family of
mm-hmm.
the people around you, especially in Pembroke, where we have family both in North Carolina, but I mean it's different every weekend of who you're cheering on. So
Yeah.
no, it's a ton of fun to be able to come back and cheer on the people that supported you, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you've been a huge supporter of Britt and I since since you found out, and have watched our relationship grow, and now grow even more with Relly. I mean, same thing for some of the other coaches here. I mean, when hung out with PO for an hour today, just
Yeah.
chatting, catching up. I mean, we did the same thing when Oscar, when they had their swimming championships in Cary this year. We made sure to go over there and see him and cheer them on. We went out and ate Italian food with them
Yeah.
to enjoy it. I mean, like it's important to enjoy those relationships, because those relationships are everything, right? Like
Yeah.
they not only for connections and moving on in life, but I mean, if there's ever an opportunity to come back, or ever an opportunity where I'm in a position of hiring people, like you gotta know who those real genuine people are, that are great people,
Mm-hmm.
great coaches, but also genuine people,
Right on.
and you know it says a lot about who we hang out with.
For sure, man. For sure. That's awesome. So, last question before we wrap things up here. Talk a little bit about your experience as a college athlete, and how do you feel like that helped, like, with your transition into getting an MBA, and then getting the professional college athletics. Talk about how your I guess your time as a college athlete helped prepare you for that.
Yeah, I mean, my time as an athlete was tough, right? Like I was a recruited walk on, um, so still a big believer in what walk ons are, and but like playing wise, I got hurt, so I never really got to live that dream of um, a college athlete that's living in the grandeur of all of that. I finished my career 2 for 2. I can say that I batted 1,000 as my college career. Like that's pretty cool. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to like those moments, those big time moments, you dream of that, right? To be in those moments and like itching for that, and so I hung it up my junior year. Todd Anderson was here. Him and I had a good connection, and I knew I wanted to be around athletics, and just started volunteering for the department, and it stemmed from there. Where I guess they liked what I did and the ideas I was bringing to the table. I think Dick was still a very young AD at that point, and enjoyed the creativity of some of the stuff that he saw at NC State that wasn't here
Mm-hmm.
necessarily, and gave me the opportunity to go get my master's in a newly created director of fan engagement graduate assistantship position. That position didn't exist before that.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to be willing to invest in the growth of marketing and external operations to allow me to not only get an MBA, right, but to um, find my passion,
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, forever indebted, forever grateful, thankful to all of those guys as mentors, right?
Yeah.
Todd, Dick, Po. I mean, where it all started is here, and that's also going back to the question you asked earlier about it's why it was so hard to leave here, right?
Yeah.
Like all of my mentors on my resume and references, like all of them say UNC Pembroke, and
Yeah.
whether that helps you or hurts you, I don't know, but that was also like one of those. How do you take the next step if all of your references are from
Yeah.
one spot? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and I do think nowadays with people jumping ship every 2 seconds, it makes what you did here, seems like you know an anomaly in in the young professionals that are bouncing around every 1 2 years. So there's no stability. So there's not a chance to really build a relationship with your colleagues and get the chance to know people outside of the 9 to 5, or I guess in athletics
yeah,
the
whatever it is,
the
yeah. For
the
you,
six
the 5 a.m. to
the 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.
yeah,
on a Saturday night.
yeah,
You get up and when it's dark outside, and you go home when it's dark. So
yeah,
so you get a chance to spend a lot of we got a chance to spend a lot of time together, man. Football games, prepping, you know, pre-football game meetings, basketball season, wrestling seasons, to say that soccer season, all those. So you got a chance to endure a lot, but you also got a chance to learn a lot too. And
yeah,
I think the fact that you turned down an opportunity like Duke, prior, to give yourself that those extra 3 years to grow, says a lot. Like I said earlier, about you as a man, and about loyalty. And I think that's one of the things that's really hard to find now. And I think Duke is lucky to have you, because if you look at your track record, they should know you're going to be there for some time. You're not going to jump ship, as soon as the next shining thing comes up. So, Coach, where can they find you on social? I know you're trying to grow that Duke women's basketball brand.
Yeah, yep. My social is just Bull Slavin, pretty easy to find.
Okay.
Obviously, any support to Duke women's basketball brand, I'm sure you've seen it already, but definitely looking at some new things getting added this year. So stay tuned for announcement of that. But if you have a team organization looking for some group experiences, group tickets, things of that nature, would love to obviously have you guys out and gain your feedback. Looking to continue to make our game day the best game day in the ACC, if not in the country. So I know a lot of people associate women's basketball with South Carolina, but we're looking to take that throne, and LSU's coming to our place this year. So there's gonna be some big time matchups this year that you definitely want to come enjoy with us. So.
Yeah, Coach Lawson is a very young coach in the profession, and she's done some great things at Duke. And obviously, Bull has been a part of that growth. And we're excited for his future with the program, and obviously for himself and his family. Hey, man, appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, dude.
We're excited to see what this year bring for you guys to try to run it back.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, that's another Hyde episode of OT with OT with the man, the myth, the legend, Jack Bull Slavin. Let's go. We're out.